Dear friends, good afternoon. Welcome to this year's conference. Each year, in the CSR committee, we try to be innovative and prove useful with the selection of the subject, of the theme, and the excellent speakers that are invited. When in the beginning of this year, early in the year, we selected the theme tribes as a subject for this conference, we never could fathom the dramatic change that would come along, the changes to which we had to respond. In due course, we realized that the overall discussion and the theme we had selected, that is the human-centered linkage between corporate strategy and social priorities, became all the more timely and acquired and became even more meaningful in the midst of the pandemic. We have been working for many years in this committee in order to promote the principles of sustainable development and responsible entrepreneurship, both through our work in our companies, individual work, and through the activities of the Chamber. This is not always easy to attain. It needs a lot of consistency, of good high spirit, persistence and patience, but mostly it needs a good human contact, because the quintessence of sustainable development is to motivate and convince other people to undertake changes, small or bigger changes, changes in mentality, changes in the way we estimate things, the way we view our common future. These changes must, in a way, be materialized. And as the great David Bowie sang once, in order to attain changes, one must turn back and look to the strange, the oddity, what is different. So, in this conference, we'll speak about a different leadership paradigm, a paradigm which is not necessarily at the pinnacle of the organizational chart. We'll speak about those executives, those employees, as well as private citizens who really believe in a goal, and in due course, they convince and motivate other people to embrace the same goal. These people have the paradigm that they can perceive the power of a good story in order to convince other people. They also realize that they must also undertake some role, because now we go from the era of storytelling to the era of story making. Therefore, we'll see how these people unite and create tribes. What are tribes? Tribes are ecosystems, communities, groups of people that need three main elements to operate. They need a common interest, an idea. They need a way of communication, which the digital era of social media really offers, and they also need someone or some people who will be leading this effort. So how is this linked with the companies? Tribal thinking is the mentality of a substantial adaptation of the strategy of a company, listening and approaching the tribes of people within and outside the company. A tribe might consist of consumers, for instance, but also who at the same time might be employees in a company. Therefore, the company approaches this tribe since the interest of the tribe coincides with the priorities of the company. So we speak of a turn of the business message to the essence of the goal. So to have the so-called brand that stands for a purpose, so as for the company to be able to convince, motivate, and why not, perhaps lead a transformation that serves a central vision, and at the same time it also serves real needs of the people. The benefit for the company from the integration of tribal thinking in the strategy is very important and has to do with the exploitation of the overall collective power of the citizens. Thus, a framework of opportunities and innovation is created that generates mechanisms within a company so as to have a more balanced yield of entrepreneurship, but might also lead to the creation of a new entrepreneurship paradigms. Thus, companies can create new opportunities and perspectives for development, making an action of repurposing, that is, the adaptation to the messages of the era. We'll be listening to a couple of different tribes that they all have, however, an important common characteristic. Those tribes consist of people who, in order to claim useful changes for their companies and the societies, they espouse the values of sustainability, those values that really unite people amongst them. Thus, we will be listening from those people who really apply tribes in action, who lead with compassion and conscience, who integrate sustainability in the company and lead to a change of the business model, who change financing so as for this financing also to serve the long-term sustainability. They adapt and transform their organizations, their work, and they also really put in action the solidarity between citizens and reconnect this solidarity with the priorities of the companies. So I would like to thank for this day the persons of the chamber, the president and the general director, and I would also like the people of our committee, of our tribe in the CSR committee, who are and of course, the person who has for all these years coordinating us, Angela Boyadzis. But I would also like to thank you all that have linked, that are linked with us. We hope that this year's conference will be an inspiration for better things lying ahead. And now I give the floor to Mr. Achilleas Hekimoglou, who is the corporate communications and media relations professional in Vodafone, who is our sponsor, and who will be coordinating the first part of our conference.